Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are finding the zombie puppetmaster. Juniper had a super long, awkward conversation with a fan. Butthole met an Aasimar and befriended a demon. And Quinny made his way back to the Silver Lion after completing his surf mission by flying. But what will the group find inside the abandoned mansion they discovered? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Dum-Dums, having investigated the dead and their processes throughout Selgaunt, you have found a triangulation here in Old Chancel, the rich neighborhood, the sort of gaudy neighborhood that is slammed up against the side of the governor's old money mansion. You're making your way through these packed streets, packed with houses, not with people, as you pass kind of all the low-hanging fruit, Quinny, that you've been observing of buildings that are packed just a little too close together.
Right, yep.
A variety of styles, a variety of wealth, everyone just desperately trying to show how much coin they have and how little taste they have. It is an architectural gumbo that no one likes. And you're being led by Jimbo Jimothy, the intern/infantryman. He can't say it, neither can I. Having figured out where the various undead's sort of magical cord is being pulled from.
Sure. Yeah.
So, having investigated throughout town, you are finally on your approach to what looks to be a derelict mansion. There are a few of these, similar to, if you've ever seen those incredibly chilling images of the non-planned community mansions that kind of got abandoned during the recession, where they were just mega mansions. I remember that there was one that had a room that just said extra room, and it was the size of my house, but there was nothing there. And this is a similar thing. It's clearly a very expensive house. And you've seen a few of these that are boarded up, that are for sale, that still are fancy, but are clearly not occupied.
Gotcha.
This kind of makes sense given everything you've heard about the financial situation going on here in Selgaunt. When trade is flowing, the money is flowing, everything is good for everyone involved. When the trade is not flowing, things are bad. When the undead walk the streets, things are bad. You know, all those usual economic factors that they teach you in school. Yeah. So you've passed a few of these, but this is the one that you've kind of led up to. It has a massive wrought iron fence around it. Despite how close these houses are packed, they still have little yards. They still want to feel, in some places, as much a mansion as possible, despite the proximity. So this one seems to have aggressively built a yard around it. So it's not as close to some of the other buildings as what you've seen, but it's only, maybe a meter or, I guess, 3-4 feet for our American listeners of yard. It's not a lot. It's enough that you can kind of scoot around it, but it's basically, unlike some of the other properties that are just a house next to a house, there's a little bit of yard around this one.
Okay.
With a bit of a deeper front yard. So it kind of cuts out into the front. This thing is a big, sort of imposing 2-story building. From the outside, it is painted a deep mahogany. So a weird mix of what are clearly stone pillars that have been kind of painted in a vaguely wood-esque color. Huge pillars out front, 2 statues of lions sort of flanking the door. The windows have all been very artfully boarded up. So none of this is kind of like we had to abandon this in a hurry, just sort of it hasn't sold yet. So we want to put some stuff up to make sure the looky-loos don't do their looky-looing. So don't think of it as decrepit, but simply almost packed for storage.
Recently abandoned?
No, not recently.
Okay.
You can tell that the things that have been put up to block the windows are weathered. So clearly this one has been available on the market for some time. Huge sort of steep roof that looks like it hasn't had any work done in a while. It's not, full of holes or anything, but it's definitely showing some wear and tear. The vibe you're getting is very much whoever owns this hasn't felt the need to keep it up until it sells, which possibly means it's been on the market for a long time. Okay. Some of the other for sale places you've seen have been very staged. Some of them have, lights on inside. And this is one of the ones that isn't. You've seen a few like this on your way in, but this one does not. So Jimbo kind of leads you up to the door and says, here we are. Your Highness," he bows to you, Butthole. Does, again, too much of a bow, but he's more comfortable now. He's sort of gaining confidence, having spent time around the three of you. He says, I'm afraid I'm not too familiar with this part of town other than, what falls from it into the sewers. So...
All right, so what do people poop in this neighborhood? And you got any poops from this place, I guess?
I wouldn't be able to tell you because we don't get called to catch every poop. Like, we're not running around with basins. It's just if there's a clog or a major issue down in the sewers, then we kind of come through and
summon the carts. Yeah. Okay. So you don't know anything?
I mean, I know some things, but...
Okay, what do you know about this house?
Well, no, I don't know anything about this house. I just know some things.
Oh, in general.
I make cart poop, but I'm a very complex person, and I don't like being reduced to nothing because I don't know about this one fancy house.
I mean, I'm not reducing you to nothing. I just didn't know if you knew what we need for this investigation. Do you know what? I think, let's be fair. Tell us the top 3 things about yourself.
Okay. Well, the first is that I'm a great infantryman intern.
What's that?
Infantryman intern.
Okay.
Juniper just sidles up to Butthole as this is happening, be like, I think he might need some inspiration at some point. I'm just gonna quickly change back to Gartok. I don't know what this is gonna need.
Give me a hint here.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm Gartok.
Great. So I'm really good at that, even though I just started, but I'm learning very quickly.
Okay.
I am good at inspiring others.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, being a night carter can be somewhat of a, it looks very slyly to all of you, it says, shitty job. And I make it my job to try and make the other night carters feel a little bit better about it. So, if someone carts poop very effectively, I make sure that I point it out and tell them, people don't necessarily see what we're doing, but it's important, which is, I think, why I'm a little bit touchy about the not knowing about this house. And I'm sorry, I know there's bigger things at work here than me, but just the third thing.
Being inspiring is a very important and underappreciated skill. Good for you.
I would describe it as very central to Gartok's identity.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you, Gartok. And I guess the third thing about me is I am very, very good with a cart. It will not surprise you to know the poop carts are not necessarily built for efficiency, but I've gotten very good at them. And I can cart poop faster than many of my colleagues, which I don't brag about to them. I instead show them how, if the wheel is in sludge, I proceed to get very technical about wheeling through shit.
Okay, well,
just so you know, I just want to point out that if you're good at wheeling shit around, you're also probably good at wheeling a bunch of other things around. Just know that.
And he nods.
It's a transferable skill that could be used in the future.
Does it apply to infantrymanship?
Sure.
Absolutely. Think of like things that need to be carted around to like different squads, like weapons and provisions and things like that.
Now, listen, we're on an important mission, but I'm beginning to realize that we might need to talk a little bit more with you, Jimbo, because you said you were a lot more than just a one-dimensional person carting poop around, and then we asked you 3 things about yourself, and 2 of them were about carting poop.
No,
and
they're about how good I am at those things, and they're transferable skills, like Gartok said.
Transferable skills.
Yeah, I feel like Gartok knew that and you didn't, though.
Also, I think one of them was inspiration, which is just, it's a nice thing, but you only actually specified it in regards to the poop cart thing.
Framed it as inspiring.
Can you tell us
poop
3
carters.
things about you that are unrelated to work? I want to know that you as Jimbo, not you as Jimbo, the infantryman intern, or as Jimbo, the night carter.
Okay, well, I love stories of adventurers and heroes. That's why I want to become one myself.
Oh, that's cool.
I often hear when we're cleaning up one of the tavern clogs, which are particularly nasty.
Yep.
I often hear that the sounds of bards echoing down through the toilets and into the sewers, and it echoes off the walls. And it's a little hard to make out, but the sounds of the heroics made me want to join the Silver Ravens because, it sounds like they're out there making a real change in a way people can see. So that's so I love songs about heroes, which is why I was kind of excited to meet you guys.
Okay, yeah,
and become one myself. So that's one thing about me. What else? I never forget a birthday. That's something that I've been told is an
very
uncanny
generous of you,
skill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
People don't particularly appreciate when I show up stinky to, bring them a little gift or something that I may be found in the sewers or maybe found elsewhere. But I always remember and I always go and visit my friends on their birthdays. So,
when's Quinny's birthday?
Well, I don't know, sir. I've only just met you. When is your birthday?
Oh, it's on, medieval day and fantasy month.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll probably see you again because I'm here and you're going to go back to wherever you came from. But just know on Medieval Day on Fantasy Month, I'll be thinking of you.
Cool. I'm going to have to get that calendar translated so I know when that is.
Yeah.
And let's see. The third thing about me is I'm scared of thunderstorms.
Day, medieval day.
Scared of thunderstorms.
Yeah, I just don't like them. It bothers me that electricity can make the jump from the sky to the ground. That feels very dangerous.
So do you like the storm towers then because they prevent that, or do you not like the storm towers because sometimes they make storms happen?
Well, I appreciate that they're there. And, I guess working in the sewers, floods are bad down there. Like, they're gross down there. But I'm also worried if I come up, then I'm going to get hit by lightning. So I like that the storm towers are there to kind of catch some of that. But I don't know. I just think don't you think it's scary?
I mean, I could summon lightning and control weather, so no, I'm good. What about you guys? You guys afraid of lightning?
No, not in any meaningful way.
I can protect myself from different kinds of energy, including lightning.
See, this
so.
is why I
probably
want to be
dodge
a
it.
hero, because you hero folks, you just have ways around this. Me, I got to like hide under a tree. That's safe in a lightning storm.
No,
right?
that's the opposite. of
What?
safe. No, you were good when you were underground, but the tree thing's bad.
Wait.
You want to be, I think you want to be around the shortest stuff.
You want to be in a low-lying area.
That's it.
They're like a valley
A val.
or between
like
two
under
buildings.
a bridge.
I gotta move.
Under a bridge. Tornado,
You live on
under
a
a
mountain?
bridge. Lightning, under
I
a
don't
bridge.
know if you want to be under a bridge. I thought that was a myth. Maybe I'm incorrect.
Bridges
I
are real.
honestly
They're not
don't know what
myths.
to do in a tornado. We haven't really encountered them.
You do have to say,
Wait, what's
you
a
have to answer
tornado?
the 3 riddles and then you can go under the bridge, right?
That's
That's trolls.
trolls, and that's crossing bridges.
Yeah, but that's like a good bridge.
and
Trolls
that's
aren't
not
going to be
even
under
like
a
a
flimsy
thing.
bridge.
That's just like I think trolls just heard that and they started taking advantage it to like I don't know, pilfer off of.
Listen,
the
Gartok, I don't want to slander
travelers.
trolls while we're here. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a kind of cultural significance.
Well, Crunch is a troll, right?
Crunch is a half troll.
Half troll.
Okay, so Crunch can half answer this question. Like, is it a troll thing, or are they just cashing in on a myth or like a bad rumor?
I'm not going to pretend to know the mind of a troll.
No, but I think Crunch might.
I don't think Crunch unfortunately spent a whole lot of time around bridge trolls.
Oh, so he's missing the riddle half.
Yeah.
He's the thumping half.
Yeah.
Can I just
It's a
clarify?
lot more like holding like a big like stick and hitting things.
Are tornadoes better or worse than lightning?
Worse.
Oh,
Are you scared of tornadoes?
I am now. I didn't even know what they were, but they're apparently worse than lightning.
So
But you
what-
don't get them. Have you've ever seen a tornado
No,
and you've never heard of one?
no.
Then they're probably not endemic to this area. You don't have to worry about it.
What are you conceptualizing in your head as being a tornado?
Like lightning, but it comes sideways.
No, it's not that. You're fine.
Incorrect.
I mean, most lightning goes sideways when you look up at the sky.
The house looms large beyond.
All right, that's probably enough of this. I get a
gonna let
feeling
that
from
hang in the
myself.
air.
I feel like the god of me kind of told me that we should keep focusing. So we've got this house. It looks abandoned, but it might be evil. I'm not very sneaky. Jimbo might be able to get us through the sewers if we need to for like an ambush, but I feel like, Quinny, do you want to
This is my
scout this out?
question of like, how many precautions do we want to take in getting in? I mean, you're the king of a realm. You are very much a hello, new friend kind of guy. Do you want to start by knocking on the door? Is somebody home? Or do you want me to see if I can break us in
These are
secretly?
this is like an exploding zombie scenario, and we've got diplomatic immunity. So I mean, let's just break in. Like, go do some sneaks, see what's in there, because I want to know if it should be a hammer first or a hello first situation.
All right, well, let's start with the door, I guess. I like where your head's at with the sewer.
They've killed a lot of people, so we should be careful.
I'm going to cast Detect Evil and Good on myself. So for the next 10 minutes, I will know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of me.
Ooh.
Okay.
We all look dramatically
Now,
at Jimbo.
what does that look like for like is
Sword
Gartok's casting different visually than Juniper's? Do you think?
No, I think it's identical because regardless of the persona, they're all paladins. They all share the oath. So
Borovic is a paladin.
Yeah, Grandpa Warpick, baby.
yeah, didn't you know that?
I think the werewolf is your fursona.
And yeah. And so no, it's like light and silvery.
Gotcha.
and-
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you're pressing R3 in an Assassin's Creed goes off hard, and yeah, you can tell there is a fuck ton of undead in the building ahead of you.
Okay, we've got an overwhelming number of undead folks
well.
inside this building, so beware.
I'm glad I'm here with a cleric and a paladin. Front door still what we're thinking?
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. If I stay, how big is this place, Tom? I'm trying to figure out.
It's large. It's sort of a 2-story mansion.
We're talking like New York Brownstown, or what are we?
Bit bigger than that. This is I'm trying to think width-wise. I don't really know what comp to pull for this other than just kind of like a D&D sized mansion. Like it's not thin or small. It's a big structure.
All right. Well, if somebody's going to try to bail out, then we probably got to cover like 3 different angles. So, Jimbo, if you go down into the sewers, we're not expecting you to fight anybody, but if somebody like pops into the sewers and bails, just like follow them,
okay,
and then send word to us so we can track them down.
How can I send word best to you? Should I send Mr. Bitey?
Sure. If you've got your own answer to this problem, let's go with that. Send Mr. Bitey. You can send a note or something. Jimbo will cover the sewers,
okay,
and then I'm figuring I could stay here out front. And Gartok, if you go around to the back, we can look at each other down this alleyway so we don't get lost and we know what's going on. And then, Quinny, you can break in. Because then if somebody busts out, they got to go our way.
I can
no matter
unlock
what.
the doors for you and not open them so that they're just ready for you to open if you want. And I can still come in a third way. If you want me to come in up the window or something like that or down the chimney, I don't care.
Well, yeah, why don't you go up and down a chimney or whatever? But or like whatever you're the break-in expert. I'm just saying, like, we want to know what's going on in there and we got to avoid a lot of zombies. I don't want to set off an explodathon in this house because it's the only evidence we have. So if you sneak in, then between Jimbo, me, and Gartok, we can make sure if somebody bails out and runs, we catch him.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you can get in there, knock this person out, tie him up or whatever, if you think you can get him, then get him and we'll figure out what's going on. But you got to avoid apparently all the zombies. So
Yeah, there are a lot.
apparently it's a lot.
At the same time, we have kind of been surrounded by a whole bunch that haven't attacked because they're just waiting to take over for processes. So we don't know if they will attack.
Yeah, so don't break the processes if you don't have to.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll start with your door here at the front. And I'll bust out my...
Just a sec. Jimbo, go. Like, Butthole's going to move into his position and wave Gartok around to the back.
I'm going.
Okay, so Quinny, as you approach the front door, you can see that there is a scroll that has been sealed to it. So it's not nailed in because that would cause damage to the door, which would lower the property value on sale. But instead, just kind of wax seal stamped. There's a slightly faded, slightly weather-worn notice.
I'll have a look at that.
Sure. So in sort of swirling script, it just says, Galen Manor available for purchase or long-term lease. And it just contains a bunch of information about kind of which barrister to speak to, all that sort of jazz. There's no date on it. The price is exorbitant, even by your standards. But yeah, that just seems to be what it is. It's, again, a notice to find someone in town. That's it.
Okay. I don't think that would keep me from proceeding, so I just take out my thieves' tool and start to go to work on this lock.
Give me a sleight of hand with your usual advantage, please.
Right, because of the advantage on my first kind of breaking and entering check in the rich neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So we'll take I think that was a 14. 29.
29. So once you start working on this lock, you can tell that what it looks like from the outside and compared to what it is on the inside are very different. You would venture that someone has built a more advanced lock on the other side. I mean, locks are no concern of Quinny Brownbarrow, but it's not as simple as, you get your thieves' tools, your 2 picks into the lock, and suddenly you're finding like a much more complex mechanism beyond. But again, you're very studied in this. You're very good at it. So you're able to make quick work of it despite how complex it is. But you hear several things kind of click and shift on the other side. On your side, it's a very standard keyhole. On the other side, you'd imagine it's probably almost a panel of different interlocking mechanisms.
Sounds expensive.
It does sound expensive.
Okay. Well, once I'm satisfied that I've finished my work here, I'll walk back over to Butthole and say, notice on the door says this is Galen Manor. So I don't know if Lord Galen or anything like that rings a bell. Doesn't to me.
No, not to me. I don't have that anywhere in my brain.
The lock on the outside, pretty run-of-the-mill lock, but on the other side of the door, once I got in there, I could tell that this is very expensive and intricate. So
Yeah,
The outside is a certain facade. The inside seems very, very like that was an expensive lock that I just made.
and it's full of zombies. They don't have their own locks. Shit's weird here.
Yeah. No. So just giving you the intel I got. That's your door. I'll see you in a minute. And I go around the side of the house to the back door.
Okay. You are surprised to find no back door.
Oh.
There are a number of windows kind of looking out, large kind of arched windows looking out over the back of the property, which is, again, like a few feet and then more buildings. It's
Right.
very much like modern condo building where the view is other condos. But the windows are similarly boarded to what you saw out front. And it seems there was a back door at some point, but it has been sealed over, basically like bricked in very intricately. There's like a painted fresco of flowers and it looks very fancy, but yeah, it has been sealed shut.
Interesting. What do you want to do, Gartok? You want to try prying the boards off a window, or I can get you into a window, or we can try something else.
There's bound to be traps, right?
I haven't seen any traps so far, but the outside is very much not indicative of what's inside from what I can tell so far.
Well, we gotta find out one way or the other, so... Window?
All right, yeah. You want to give me a boost here?
Sure.
Or can you pry the boards off? That'd be easier.
I suppose I can.
Go for it.
All right.
Just clamber onto Quinny's shoulders.
Well, all right. I mean,
Butthole's
you want.
looking from a distance and just gestured. It's like he's doing like switchy hands,
Yeah.
realizing there's no official sign language
Gartok
between us at
on
this point.
top of Quinny's shoulders is still shorter than you just standing normally.
Yeah. He just points it at you two and then points at himself and then does a little circular gesture with his hands.
Roll me an insight, I think.
18.
16.
All right. Yeah, you get what he's saying, but do you do anything about it?
Butthole thinks we're doing a really good job. Yeah, like, all right, fine. I have, Quinny has his own qualms about, like, getting boards affixed to a window off in any kind of efficient fashion, but he'll take the note and be like, all right, let's try switching. And
All right.
okay. I
Here's
climb
a
up
boost.
climb up on top of, Gartok's shoulders and...
Butthole just slaps his hands onto his head, points at them, points at him, does it again. Very exasperated.
Wait, are we supposed to switch places with Butthole?
I guess. Walk us over there and we'll see.
Butthole goes to meet them halfway.
Yeah, as Gartok, you wheel the two of you over in like a like vaguely swaying Muppet Man stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys trying to take boards off the window?
Yeah.
Can we do that stealthily?
I don't know yet. I haven't really gotten in there.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Why don't we put Gartok out front, put me back there. Quinny, you can go break in. Worst case scenario, I hammer in through a window and jump in.
Okay. Front door's unlocked, Gartok.
Don't go in yet, but
the lock
like,
was super intricate on the other side, but
All right.
yeah. All right.
I guess
and,
I'll be ready.
yeah, and just from Gartok's shoulder, I'm just gonna try to kip up onto the side of the.
you've ridden Gartok the whole way
I
over.
said let's go over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quinny's purpose. Okay. So roll, I guess, acrobatics to get up the wall.
Uh-oh. A 7.
You did start on uneven terrain.
7 plus 15.
Why are you saying uh-oh?
I forget.
Why are you saying on
22.
uh-oh on anything but a 2?
I forget about expertise on my acrobatics. It doesn't come up as often.
You might as well just
But, like,
have like
the
a
insight-
slide whistle going as you clamber up the wall. Because this building is sort of over designed, there's actually plenty to grab onto, so you're able to clamber up relatively easily. You do find the tiles on the roof a little loose for your taste because they're so ill kept.
Okay, keep
But-
that in mind.
You're able to make it up there, and you're looking for a chimney, correct?
A chimney or a high window.
So the high windows have the same boarding problem
They're
as
boarded
the
up,
ones
okay.
downstairs, but there is a chimney that is not boarded. It's
All right, and sizing up that chimney, do I think I can make it down there?
going to be a tight fit, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep, you'll need to do some rolls to see if you get Santa Claused or not, but we can.
Won't that be a fun episode?
So jolly.
Just from the fireplace. Go get him, guys! I'm right behind you.
Well, you'll arrive by Christmas on the medieval
Great.
fantasy calendar, so that's good. Okay, cool. So Gartok, you're going around the front, so you wheel your way to the front door. Quinny, you've gone up for the chimney, and Butthole, you're going to try and pry the windows off?
Butthole isn't going to touch a window until he has to because he doesn't want to blow the stealth on this for Quinny. So he's just ready with a hammer to either smash or hurl a whole body through a window into the house.
Great. Okay. So, Quinny, you, I guess the action rests with you then. You make your way up to the chimney. Again, it's dark looking down it.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I'll take out my rope, cinch it around my waist, anchor it around the chimney, and start to make my way down.
Okay. Let's do another acrobatics, but at disadvantage, please.
15 plus 15, 30.
30? Yeah, all right. So you start to shimmy your way down.
Okay.
It is tight. This isn't a large chimney, but it's enough that you can kind of do the awkward, like, you have to kind of keep your arms above your head, and it's kind of just a full body worm shimmy down.
I think it is one of those things that the player Tyler, personally find terrifying.
Oh my God, I'm deeply
cave spelunking and stuff.
Yeah, I'm deeply uncomfortable even describing this, but
hate it.
Yeah, so you squirm your way down, and how are you going in head first or feet first?
As uncomfortable as it makes me, once again, I think I'm going in head first.
Yeah, like a pro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Quinny is much more comfortable with this than I am.
Yeah. That's all right. We can both unpack our fears of small spaces later. Go ahead and roll me a perception, please.
Oh, wow. That
Nice.
that was threatening to be an 8, but 16 plus perception, 16 plus 5 for 21.
21, yep.
And I have devil's sight, so I can see in the dark.
Okay, great.
Ooh, nice.
So as you are squirming your way down, you can see where the chimney opens up into a fireplace. Happily, there's no fire. But you can see just a few, what to your eye as a thief particularly, you can see that there have been some switches very quietly installed. So if anybody was to move through them, they would trigger. So someone has clearly trapped the exit of this fireplace.
Okay. Switches, meaning like pressure switches?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah. So you
someone
basically
has
see bricks that are. So if we're looking at a brick, you're looking down the brick chimney. You can see a couple of them. The color doesn't quite match, which your double sight gives you, and they're just edging out ever so slightly. So to your kind of studied eye, these are pressure switches where if something were to slide through these, it would very clearly just push them enough.
Okay, and are these in the chimney, in the fireplace, or in front
chimney,
of the fireplace?
Near the mouth of the chimney. So
Okay.
basically, if anything's coming down, it would trigger these before landing in the chimney
I
itself.
see. Okay, so if I've spotted those, I basically just want to take the extra time to avoid them as I continue on then.
You would need to do something about them because you're wedged in there. So you'd basically need to shimmy through them.
Can I do a little bit of inverted, upside down, in the dark thieves' tools work to disable these?
So I'd give you disadvantage because it's incredibly awkward. You're Mission Impossible-ing it. However, you do have your thieves' tools, which I think would counteract that. So I'm going to give you just a straight roll on this. And it's...
Can I give myself the advantage that no, you didn't say that I would have had advantage. Sorry.
So you would from your thieves' tools, yeah.
Okay. Can I very rarely do this, but I do have the cantrip Mage Hand at the ready. Can I give my thieves' tools to my Mage Hand?
Yeah.
For a bit more freedom of movement?
I'll give you advantage for having an extra pair of digital hands floating
Excellent.
around. Yeah,
Okay.
that's very cool. That's a very good use of those.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Sleight of hand, 23.
23. Okay. So with the assistance of your mage hand, you basically find a way to wedge shit around these hard enough that they don't have room to slide. So they're still sticking out. The trap still exists.
Right.
But the actual pressure things can't impress.
Like if I may, like a coin's width or something, just a single gold coin delicately wedged into each one to hold it in place.
Love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So an expensive solution, but a solution nonetheless. Yes. So they're wedged, and you feel like you can confidently move down now.
Then I proceed.
Great. So you worm your way down to the bottom of the chimney, and sort of reaching the lip of the chimney, you can see the sort of clear incineration trap that's set up to trigger with these.
For anyone displacing those switches.
Yeah.
Okay.
And can you roll me? I think I'm gonna say insight, but I would take a pitch. This is basically like how familiar is Quinny? I almost want a thievery check for this because I basically want to know like how familiar is Quinny with anti-theft deterrent traps.
Do you want me to pitch a weird one to you then? Do you want me to roll a Dex history?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. Thank you.
So we don't do that kind of stuff very often, but that's basically I'm using my Dex modifier and any proficiency I have with history as a combination roll.
Yep. That's good.
So 6 plus my Dex modifier plus 5 for a total of 11, and my history plus 1 for 12.
12. Okay, you're not too familiar with traps like this. In your experience, this is an odd one. But that unfortunately isn't high enough to give you much more than that.
Okay. And sorry, can you set the scene for me one more time of where I am?
You're still in the chimney.
Yep.
You have made it to the lip of the chimney, and looking down, you can see that there's very clearly some sort of mechanically installed incineration things to just set a huge jet of flame up the chimney if anyone triggers the trap.
The trap, okay.
And yeah, unfortunately, you don't, based on that roll, you can't recall enough about sort of anti-theft stuff to really have any sense of what this is.
To learn anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or to know kind of its nature or anything like that.
Okay. I think based on the context, I have to be satisfied that I've disabled the switch mechanism so that this shouldn't go off anymore, even though it's still functional or appears to be functional. So I'm going to carefully proceed, even though I don't know about like the make or the intention behind why this would be in the chimney or anything like that.
So you worm your way further in, and you drop out of the chimney quietly. You lower yourself into the fireplace, and it is a large fireplace. You find yourself in a dimly lit bedroom.
Okay.
So it's clearly the sort of master bedroom for Galen Manor. There is a huge, like king size plus an extra half sized bed, big. The very classic, weird, old timey. Like it has giant bedposts and a giant canopy over the bed. A lot of gilt gold in the headboard. Very plush, rich looking linens on it. Big heavy blanket. The room itself looks built for luxury. Every chair has wings and is, like well padded. There's an old faded wall-to-wall portrait of a fancy looking lord of some sort. Aboard what's clearly a trade ship. Doing a bit of the George Washington pose, foot up. And I think, Quinny, based on your experience with rich people, this is very much sort of, you can see what trade the Galen family was most proud of. A lot of crates and boxes, a ton of working class just quietly doing all the work behind while this guy stands sort of looking out at the horizon. An otherwise big writing desk with a chair. There's a vanity with a mirror. And there are 2 bodies in here. The bed has clearly been slept in. The bed sheets are ruffled, but it looks to you very turbulent, like they're just kind of tossed around. There is a dead butler, just sort of at the edge of the bed, slumped over, wearing similar colors to the outfit that you see on the in the portrait.
Okay.
Not animated, just a literal corpse. Looks like the body's been here for a long time. And just beside it is a tray with a couple of broken crystal decanters. A broken crystal decanter and a couple of broken crystal tumblers. There seems to be a dark stain next to it on the ground. The other is next to the bed with a chair leg through its chest pinned to the wall, and white gloves, sort of a similar outfit, and clearly has been dead for a long time, but is clutching the edge of a sheet.
Okay, and these are, as you described and used the word corpse, these are dead bodies. These are not animated corpses.
These are not animated corpses. These are just corpses.
And this is the first time we've seen, because up to this point, the zombies have been just a lineup of random zombies. Don't look like they used to live there in life or anything like that, but these people share the livery or whatever of the
These are very clearly servants of the Galen
this
Manor.
house.
Yep.
Okay. Yikes.
The door to the bedroom is ajar, slightly, but otherwise there's no movement in this room.
Do I have a sense of whether I've made my way down to the first or second floor in this master bedroom?
This would be the second floor.
Okay. Do I see any boarded up windows?
Yes, you would see one kind of big one looking out over the back of the property. So above where Butthole is currently standing, there's kind of the large ones for the main floor, and then there's smaller ones on the second floor. From inside, you can see that they have actually been bricked behind the boards.
Okay, so no chance of shimmying one out or pushing one out to
No,
to
I will
communicate.
also note there's no adornment on these. So the one on the outside was very painted to look super nice and everything else. This is literally just like the equivalent of concrete bricks.
Right, okay.
Just sealed.
I have no way of talking to them, I don't think.
You can also hear music coming faintly through the door from downstairs.
Okay. There's no reason for me to think that the traps necessarily stop at the fireplace. So I'd like to check for traps around the fireplace in going into the room.
Sure. Give me a perception again, I think, please.
Ooh, natural 1, so reroll with lucky. Here we go. That's a 2. Total of 7 perception.
7. Nothing you can see.
And Quinny doesn't know that's a bad roll, so he's going to take that as like, I am confident that I have successfully scanned the room.
Yeah. You found the chimney trap was so intricate that looking around, you just have the confidence of like, well, I don't see anything else intricate here, so clearly
okay.
I'm in the clear.
I'm going to still tiptoe and delicately make my way through the room to the doorway where I hear this music coming from. I'm going to untie the rope from myself as well. Yeah.
So, and you want to look out, peer out, or you're listening, or what's?
I think I'll take a look out. Yeah. A sneaky look. I'm not looking to be seen. So even from like my thieves' tools kit, like a mirror to kind of like flash into the
Sure.
into the hall.
So the hallway is you see sort of a landing that opens up into the larger space below. From your experience with fancy mansions and that sort of thing, this seems to be sort of the large, grand main entry room. It's got kind of those curving staircases that you see in The Matrix, Scarface, and Resident Evil.
Right, okay.
Leading up. You can't see what's below any of that because you basically see to a banister and then the space opens up. But it's very clear that this landing is really only meant to... Like the mansion is big, but it's not massive. So it's like you come up the stairs, there's a bedroom here. From what you can tell, even just geographically, there's clearly a mirrored room next to yours. You're not sure what it is, but there's 2 rooms at the top of this landing. The landing has those 2 curling staircases that lead down into the main space. You can't see what's down in the main space, but you can definitely hear music coming up from down there, and you hear the sounds of shuffling feet.
Can I determine the direction that shuffling is coming from?
No, because it's echoing off the walls. It's downstairs somewhere.
Okay.
But it doesn't sound tactical. It just sounds like footsteps going about their business.
Oh, going about their business, huh? Okay. That's become a loaded phrase now. I will tiptoe into the hall and make my way to this balcony kind of over the main.
Could you give me a stealth check, please?
Yeah. Stealth 22.
22. Okay, so you sort of edge forward onto the landing. To your right, as you come out of this room, you see a wall with another door that's slightly ajar, again, seemingly mirroring this one. The landing itself only has the stairs down from here. There's a small bathroom at the end of the landing with a door ajar. Again, it's kind of dark in there. You can't really see what's going on. The main room is lit. There seems to be some sort of the classic D&D equivalent of an electric lamp. So just some sort of charged stones in sort of torch sconces that are just running to give the space, honestly, very bright and welcoming light. The interior of this room, as you kind of move your way in, you can see the ceiling is somewhat arched and has similar ornamentation to what you just saw in the bedroom. So a lot of very fancy work. It's a little bit like if you go to the opera and look up. It's just there's a lot of work that's been done. So a massive hanging chandelier with these little sort of stones going. Beneath, you see the 2 stairs kind of loop down, and you're having to crawl because there's banisters. So there's no like waist high Gears of War wall to hide behind.
Well, especially on a halfling.
Yeah. So so it's very much invisible. Kind of a scooching up to the edge and sort of peering up and over.
Yeah.
Beneath you can see the 2 stairs arc down to the center of the room. There's a large fountain that is run dry.
Okay.
There is a winged statue with the classic like scales in one hand, not for justice but for commerce, and like a bag of produce in the other hand. So clearly, again, similar to what you saw in the painting. However, bits of the statue have been broken off and are arranged kind of haphazardly around it. So it's got a bit of that winged victory thing going on where like the arms are missing, the head is missing, chunks have been taken out of it. There is a massive mechanical thing that has been affixed to where the head would be. From the back, you can see that it's got coils and a barrel. It's clearly some kind of weapon.
A barrel like a gun?
Yeah.
A cannon?
Yep. So not dissimilar from what the Unseen Hand was using circa its partnership with Typhus, but not nearly that advanced. So this isn't like, holy shit, the future is here. This is just, this is like a big coils and more, this is a weird poll, but think like how technology manifests in World of Warcraft, where it's more coiled and there's a lot more kind of
gem-based powers.
Yeah, gem-based powers. Okay. And just a little more whimsical, a little more 60s sci-fi fantastical than the sort of sleek stuff we've seen elsewhere. You can see kind of coiling coming down to what's clearly a little gem-based generator at the base of the statue. So you can see the statue's been disassembled to some degree, but also someone has installed a gun on it that is pointed directly at the front door.
Does it appear to be panning in any kind of scan motion, or it's fixed on the door?
Fixed at the door, at the front door. That said, from here you can't tell whether it's active or inactive. Yeah. It's not to say it can't turn; it just is currently aimed that way.
Yeah.
So down below, you can see the space comes to a point. So if you're currently on the north, looking from the north, so to the south there is an archway, an open archway that leads into some sort of small entry hallway.
And that's like under me. If I'm on the second floor.
The balcony is along the north wall.
Okay. Yep.
So with the stairs, so dead center of the room is the statue. On the south wall down on the main level, there's an arched entryway that leads into what would clearly be some kind of entry hall. No one enters directly into one of these spaces.
I see.
Got to have like a cloakroom and a place.
So the front door is under Quinny right now.
No. Sorry.
No, from where I'm standing, I can see the front door like
back
a
wall.
I just wanted to make sure I was following.
Yeah. Front door is the south because I assumed you'd go in that way, so I built it.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Chimney shenanigans.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. So, Butthole, you are currently outside north. Gartok, you are south at the front door.
Cool.
Quinny, from where you're standing to your right, so the west of the building, there's a big set of double doors off of this large chamber that you could assume is probably, knowing mansions, there's probably a dining hall somewhere or some other kind of entertaining space. So there's a door on either wall. You're not sure what they lead to. At the south, there's this archway with no door that leads into some entry hallway that you can't quite see at this angle. Gartok would be beyond that for the south. Notably, in this room right now with you, there's a quartet playing music. They look like musicians. They're dressed like musicians. That said, they are very clearly undead. You can see even from here long dried wounds, but they look to have been killed very skillfully. So it's very clear, like throat cuts on all these folks. And similar to the zombies you've seen doing their processes, they are just attempting to play music somewhat discordantly, but they're working at it. So you see a standing bass. You see someone on the drums. You see someone with a triangle.
Okay.
And you See someone whose throat wasn't slit, but who has a big dark stain on their chest, badly blowing into a flute.
Okay, so a quartet, but not
What
a
a
string
quartet.
Yeah.
Yep.
This person's a skillful killer, but stupid enough to prevent their flute player from playing the flute.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen zombies in this town, like performing a job or service. It's all
Correct.
been
Yep.
consuming services or consuming goods, and
Correct.
now this time, okay.
Yep. And there's more. There are a couple of bodies around. One you can see from up here is sort of slumped against the stairs, wearing the servant's clothes. There's another by the front entrance who seems to be wearing what you would assume are a barrister's outfit. So it looks very much like any lawyer you've ever seen. So this is the kind of thing Bluebeard would wear, but with just a blast hole through her chest and out her back. So she's just kind of splayed out near the entrance with her robes askew. Beyond that, there are 3 zombies in servant gear who are wandering around the space. They seem to literally just be on a track, like they're walking. This is very similar to the processes you've seen, where they kind of like bad video game NPCs are just like doing. One of them walks by and then polishes the banister at the bottom of the stairs, and then polishes the other banister, and then leaves and so on and so forth. And they seem to be coming and going through those side doors from time to time. They open and close it behind them.
Man, it's like, I want to get the other 2 in here, but this is so tricky. The quartet of musicians that I can see, they're in the lobby playing their music.
Yeah, they're in the southwest corner. There's a little raised stage.
Presumably facing into the room, so if I come down, they will see me.
Correct.
Okay. And you said a barrister?
Looks like a barrister or someone wearing official robes.
Official robes
some
of the
kind.
kingdom.
Yeah, and there's like papers and scrolls and stuff under the body.
Blasted in the chest?
Yep.
So presumably walked in through the door, took one or several in the chest and dropped. So are they basically right by the doorway, or they look like they've been moved?
Yeah, they look like they've been dragged out of the direct view of the entryway.
Okay.
They're off to the side, but then left kind of haphazardly.
Okay. I mean, that at least implies that they were shot dead on coming through the door, as opposed to coming through the side door and this gun panning over and shooting them. Shit.
Yeah, just run through it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy, Funky Head, Nomad, the Wise Paladin of the Badlands, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Old Man Mojo, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, The Gator Family, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Dan the Welshman, Afflicto Gaming, Aiden,
and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.